Hello there, welcome to the first of a series of videos that will help you create a Space Invaders type game in an application called Multimedia Fusion 2. I can show you the finished product, which is located in this folder here, which I've got on my desktop, which has been a little bit slow. There we are. Okay, we called it Strawberry Invaders, because I've substituted the standard Space Invader for strawberries, and as you can see it plays just like a standard Space Invaders game. As you can see, the Space Invaders game plays the characters, or the strawberries in this case, march down the screen, and you can gradually degrade them by taking them out by shooting them. They meanwhile drop bombs on you, which will reduce your number of lives. I've been lucky so far not to have lost any in this particular instance of the game, and eventually, once you've cleared them all away or you've lost all your lives, it as I'll do now. There we are, 1, 2, oops, I'll just terminate the game as quickly as I can for you. There we are, 2 more lives to go. Obviously, the barricades there are there as your defense, part of your defense, and note how the barricades degrade as they drop bombs, or you could fire at them. Anyway, that's me done for that game. And obviously I've scored a high score, so I can put in my name in there, which will then get stored as part of my pantheon of high scores in there. So close that down. There we are, that's the game. Easy to create. I'll show you how to create it. We're going to create it in just a few videos here at Gower College, Swansea, and you too can create a Space Invaders game just like that one. It's the basic technique for any type game of this nature. We created lots of games at Gower College, Swansea, within the technology section, and we've created Flappy Bird type games, we created breakout type games, we created Pong type games, lots of different types of games, and the environment's really easy to do it. It's a 4th generation environment, does all of the coding in the background, and it's entirely a interactive environment, and very intuitive as well, I've got to say. First things first, we're going to set our environment up. Note the stage area here, which is yet to have anything in it. Note the menu bars, usual thing, toolbars along here. You've got the workspace toolbar, you've got the library bit down the bottom, and most importantly, you've got the property section, which we'll be using later on. In this first video, we'll simply be setting out our game area, and I'm just putting in a couple of assets to get you going, and we'll work out some movement on the assets as well. Okay, and leave it like that. In the second video, we'll be enhancing it further, but moving on. Let's set our game area up. We'll simply click on New. First off, we decide on, there's our frame. We can rename it if we want to call it. We can call it Strawberry. Strawberry Invaders. I like it because it's got a bit of a B-movie type feel about it, which I think is a bit fun, and also it's you can create your own sprites as well, moving forward. which perhaps look more like gremlins that you'd expect to see in space, or not, as the case may be. It's another point to note. I'll just double click in there, and that establishes our work area. The stage, note you've got this bar on the side. We can deposit some assets in there. We'll do that shortly. You've got the grey area, which is non-visible. It's still active within the play area, but if you wanted to have, say, guns and things outside of the play area, or active elements that fire things at you and move around off screen, you can place them in the grey area, and that enhances the experience of the game for the user. And obviously everything within the white area will be entirely visible to the game player. So if you want everything, including the gun and everything else, the barricades will be located within this area here. Okay, on the right hand side, as you select things, the property area will change depending on whatever's selected. Okay, note that. First of all, the frame area. I'm going to make a couple of changes here, one change in particular, but I want to point you to the size of the screen. Now note the size of the screen, it's 640 by 480. That's 640 pixels wide by 480 high. Most kids' games these days seem to be of a similar size, and they're a smaller screen. Several advantages, some disadvantages, but several advantages. Obviously, that accounts for a wide range of screen sizes, whether it's you're playing in a high definition widescreen environment or whether you're playing on a small device. It accommodates quite a large swathe of different screen resolutions. So that's fine, and it's fine for a Space Invaders type game, which is a relatively simple setup anyway. The other thing is we can change the background to it. We could set an image for the background, but we're going to set a simple color, I think, for this one. We're going to make it a bit spacey by turning it black or blue, whichever. That's your call, but I'm going to choose black. And so, and we're going to add a couple of assets, I think, at this point. Now, that leads us to discuss the library section. The library toolbar down the bottom has everything you need, really, to create a wide variety of games, and that's built into Fusion. You've got all sorts of pointers and buttons and games and bullets and spacecraft and all sorts of things in there, as you'll see in a minute. I'm going to put in our main characters, the strawberries. It could be gremlins, it could be all sorts of weird looking aliens, but we're going to select some. They can be found by expanding on CD-ROM, going into games, and under miscellaneous you'll find your game objects 2, and I beg your pardon, fruits. We'll come on to game objects 2 in a moment, and we'll choose a strawberry. You've got a couple of different versions of the strawberry as you have of other types of fruit, but I think that one's just fine, so I'll pop him in there. We'll move him onto the stage area, stage right, I believe you call that, and or is it stage left? Depends which way you're looking. Anyway, never mind. And we will then we will then add a gun of some description, and the gun can be found once again in miscellaneous, so we'll go up a level by clicking this arrow here and go into game objects 2, and we'll select a small bat here and pop that onto the screen. move him down a little bit. So that pretty much concludes the first part of this set of videos. So we've got our initial screen set up. In the next part we'll be looking at doing some more enhanced things with some of the assets that we've got, adding an extra couple of more assets, and that would be part of the second video. So anyway, hope to speak to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.